Hey, 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 everybody.
Hello, hello.
Scott and Rachel coming at you. And of course, we help committed Christians end cycles of conflict, negativity, and disconnection and reclaim love, passion, and playfulness. And today we want to talk about what is the biggest thing that is robbing you.
It's huge.
Every single day.
Yes.
In your marriage, in your personal life, in your mental health, in your emotional well-being. What is that thing that's robbing you? We're going to talk about that today.
Yes.
But before we do, you want to tell that quick story?
Yes. So I was talking to one of our amazing previous clients, and her name's Deborah, and it was so fun connecting with her. And we were just reminiscing about the time that we first spoke a number of months ago. And she had tears of joy just talking about like what it was like, because it was back then. She was really afraid. There was a lot going on, and it was a scary situation. And she took a step of faith. And by taking that step of faith, she was able to look back knowing that so much healing had come. The ironic thing is her marriage didn't wind up being saved, but she was so profoundly grateful for the healing that she found in the midst of her marriage ending. And it was so profound to hear that. And I was so proud of her because she did take that step of faith. She did take action. And that one thing that is robbing you today, either you and or your marriage, is inaction. Inaction indeed is a thief. It's absolutely robbing your marriage. First of all, if you are, I was talking to someone today, and I even said this to her, like your inaction is action. I said, is not your heart getting harder every day? She said, yes, it is. Because that's what happens. There's no such thing as like things staying status quo.
Yeah.
It's either getting better or they're dying. That's the same with anything in this world. And if you are in inaction in your marriage, where maybe things haven't been the way that they should be, and you've been wondering, like, what do I do? Or maybe you've tried some things and you try to go to a Sunday school or read a book or go to a retreat and nothing seemed to help. And so now you're just kind of locked in this place of waiting. You're waiting for what's next. You're waiting for what's going to happen. And it's a miserable place to be because every day you're actually in pain. Every day it's costing you. Every day you're distancing each other from one another. And it's not a fun place to be.
Yeah.
And inaction is actually robbing you. It's not just the bad situation. The inability or the decision to not make a decision is what is keeping you stuck. The number one thing, without question.
It's so true, Scott. And if we think of inaction as a thief, that it's actually got this mask on and it's sneaking up and it's stealing from you and from your marriage, moments of connection. Every day that you stay stuck wondering, hoping, and praying without taking action is another day of misconnection, another day of pain where your spouse just turns away again, another day of arguing and fighting and staying stuck in the vicious cycles, another day of a missed opportunity of closeness in the bedroom, on the couch, missed closeness, riding somewhere in the car, you're missing out. You're being robbed every single day, but not just in your marriage. You are also robbing yourself. That inaction is robbing yourself. It's robbing your heart of joy, of peace, of hope. It's robbing your mind of the memories you could be making today if you had taken action last week, right? Because every day, if you decided today, things are going to change. I'm going to get help. We're going to do this, or I'm going to do this. Guess what? By next week, you're already a week ahead. But if we're going to wait around for a week and go, well, let's just see how it goes. Let's do this. Let's do that. By next week, we've missed out on an entire week, 168 hours for each day that you've missed out on of joy or peace or hope or connection or memories. You're getting robbed every single day that you just sit around in inaction, in indecisiveness.
Absolutely. And it's ripple effects. It's not just you. It's not just you and your spouse.
Yeah.
It's having an impact on the kids, grandkids, potentially, friends, church friends. I mean, the high cost of inaction is absolutely part of the situation. It's not just like a little bit of a cost. Every day that goes by that you don't take action, it's not only getting worse, but there is fallout. There's
Mhm.
absolutely fallout. And so sometimes people think like, well, I'm just praying. I'm just hoping that God's going to like shoot this lightning bolt and everything's going to be different. Or I'm just really praying that my spouse will love me the way that I need. And they're just sitting basically waiting for the other person to change, or waiting for God to strike. And that's usually not how God works, first of all, but they're sitting around in inaction all the while things are getting worse. And the whole time they're stewing, and they're getting more and more angry, and things are getting worse in their own heart towards their spouse, and also potentially towards God, because God hasn't, struck lightning down.
Yeah.
It's not a good place to be either.
It's not. And think about every single day that you wait and you don't work actively to fix it, to gain a new skill set, to learn how to think differently, to learn how to shift your emotional state, to learn how to communicate and share your heart and open up and be vulnerable. Every single day that you're missing out on help to move toward that, like you said, Scott, your heart is growing colder. Most likely the roots of bitterness are growing deeper. Most likely it's going to be even that much harder when you do fix it. Every day is now you're a day further away from doing that. And not to mention the high cost of your health, your physical health, what's happening every single sleepless night that you're tossing and turning, missing out on rest. Your body's in this inflammatory fight or flight state. And guess what? That there is a high cost to that. Your body's breaking down. Most likely you have physical pain every time you argue. Most likely you have physical pain in your body where you're holding on to the tension and the negative emotions and the hurts, and not allowing healing and hope to grow. If you don't know how to do that, I'm telling you, it's robbing you of your physical health as well.
You're so right. And you're spot on about that. And here's the fact of the matter is, a lot of people will say, well, I just can't afford to act. That's one of the things. Like, they will say, I'm waiting for a free solution. I'm waiting for, a free resource. And really just sitting around waiting for something free to come along is also inaction. And my response would be, there is a high cost that you're paying. How much are you paying at the doctor? Like, my goodness, how much are you going to pay if things don't get better and you have to go to the divorce lawyer, and it's $20,000 per person plus on average in America today? There is a cost that's being paid right now for inaction. And to the cost to invest to save things is a no-brainer. Absolutely. If we're talking about not like just a little marriage tweak and improving the suckiness to have it just suck a little bit better, like, that just is horrible. But imagine if it could be completely different. Imagine what that would be like. It's sort of like with Michelle. We just heard from her recently.
Yeah, it was so cool. And we always stay in touch with the alums, the people who go through our program, and we give them ongoing support on a monthly basis. And so when we were connecting with her again, it was so good to see her, because a couple of years ago, she made that scary but courageous decision to work on the marriage on her own. She didn't have the money. She took out a credit card. She's like, I don't know if this is going to work. I need to know what I can do. When she enrolled with us, everything started to change. But guess what? It took a little bit of time. It took some time. It took her working on herself. It took her working on her mindset, her skill set, learning what her husband needed, how to show up, how to let go of disappointments, how to heal from the past. And as she showed up, she said, my gosh, it was worth every penny. And you know why? She said, whether my marriage had worked or not, I was so thankful to have that, because I invested in myself, and the person I became and I grew into as a result was worth every penny. Yeah. And oh, by the way, my marriage was saved. And she's so grateful for that. Oh, by the
way, yes.
But you know what I mean? It's like that kind of courageous action taker. She got the benefit of that. And when she took action, she got the benefit of that starting the day of, rather than let's wait and see how things go. Let's wait 3 months down the road, 2 weeks, next year. Now's not a good time. There's always going to be an excuse. There's always going to be a better time. There's always going to be a hang up of something that's in the way. But we're here to say, if you're having sleepless nights, if you're having these types of arguments where there's stonewalling and there's, hours or days of cold shoulder and tension and eggshells, and if there's crying out to God and begging him to help you, and here you are seeing our ad, you're seeing our stuff. It's like, this is coming here for a reason. We always ask, Lord, put our stuff right in front of the right people who need our help. It's like, how many signs does the Lord need to give you to say, take action, fear not? How many times does the word tell us to fear not? We believe in hoping and praying. We know that prayer is an essential part of what it is, but we also know God has called us to move. He's called us to obey. He's called us to own our own sin and decide to grow and not let those roots of bitterness grow and gain the skills you need. And so, guys, we're sick and tired of seeing inaction rob so many honorable people who could have had a better marriage by next week, by 2 months from now, if they had taken action today. Every day you wait is a day you're missing out on connection, on love, on joy, on peace, on hope, on skills, on purpose, right? Every day. So we're here to say, stop letting inaction rob you. Take the reins back, get control, and reach out and figure out who do you want to help you and get their help and take it now. Whether it's with us or somebody else, we happen to know we're pretty good at what we do. And we have a good time doing it, and it's fun. And it doesn't have to take forever, and it doesn't have to be painful either. It can be actually such an experience of hope and joy. It's indescribable. And we love doing what we do.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
so
I
true.
talked a lot.
It's also a matter of integrity. Like we know as God's people that we're not meant to wallow and to stay stuck. And the way God's designed it is that we're not alone. We often do need other people to help us, to encourage us, to support us. And by goodness, that's a lot of what we do is encouragement and support and accountability. And that's often what's needed to shift things. And we're here to tell you, my friends, we were there at one time for a long time where we were stuck in inaction, and we knew that our marriage was not honoring God. We knew that we weren't honoring God, and we were really, really stuck. And it really took taking action for us to have a turnaround in our marriage. And we knew that God was also calling us to create something very unique and very different than anything else that's out there. So if you're out there today, again, Rachel is so right. Like, take action. At least go see your pastor. At least go talk to somebody that can help. We're absolutely an option. We would recommend highly that you can, if that's you and you're out there thinking, my goodness, it's time for action, go to turnaroundmarriage.com/call and pick a time that works. Fill out that short application form, and we'll hop on that call, whether it's you as a couple or you as an individual. We know that God has healing in his heart for you, whether that's for you, for your marriage, or for both. And you're deserving of that as God's children.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if that's you, if you're sick and tired of letting inaction rob you of moments of connection, of joy, of hope, of getting the skills to heal the marriage, to heal your own heart, to help get rid of that bitterness and bring about forgiveness, go to turnaroundmarriage.com/call. We will talk to you soon. Block that time in your calendar, set a reminder, set aside that hour. We set aside that hour just for you. Set that hour aside and be deciding and ready to take action and get that breakthrough so that you can be one day closer to having the marriage of your dreams, one that honors God and one that is close and connected. Again, so go to turnaroundmarriage.com/call. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Talk to you then.